Welcome everybody to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is God of High School, Episode 6. What happened last time?
Last time was the fight between Mori and Dewi, and it was a pretty cool fight. It started off just pretty brutal. Mori was kind of like, fuck you, you just beat up our friend and hit her in a literal wound yesterday. So, whatever, we're gonna fight and we're gonna be kind of mad about it. Mm-hmm. And then about halfway through the fight, Park Mujin just like rolls in. He's just like goes up to Dewi and he's just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but your friend, he just died in the hospital. I didn't see this coming.
Looks like the deal's off. Sorry about that, kid."
He's like, "Well, we tried to help, but it was just too late." So Mira shows up and she's just like, "Hey, your friend told me to give this to you." And then he basically realizes like, this isn't me. This isn't what I do. I don't fight just to beat the shit out of people for no reason. And then they started fighting again, and it was so cool. The animation went all crazy. The art style went all crazy, and they were just like having so much fun fighting. Mori ended up winning, and then at the very end of that episode, we got. Now everyone's moving on to nationals. Well, I guess just Mori is moving on to nationals.
But I think they're going with him.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll all be like still hanging out because now they're friends. 100% they're friends. And so he's going, and then we got a teaser of I guess some other people who are probably going to nationals who were like watching them on TV, all like looking all edgy. So
indeed. Ready to see what happens this episode. Hope you guys enjoy the reaction and the review. Hope you subscribe and like the video if you like it. And before we get started, this is not a substitute. We're watching on Crunchyroll, as you should have already done. This is not a substitute for Crunchyroll, for God of High School, for the show. We're not trying to steal traffic or revenue. We're trying to provide our reaction. We provide reference footage in the reaction for context, not to steal traffic or revenue. So yeah, go watch it. Support the official release. We're getting right into this episode of God of High School. Episode 6. Let's go. Halfway through the season. Oh shit.
Witch's cult.
The witch's cult. Betelgeuse Romani Conti.
Yeah, this is his grandpa or whatever.
That must have been, I guess that was just happening, or is that another flashback? I wonder when that happened, because he said goodbye to him, but that might just be now. Like maybe he just left.
He looks about like the same age. I don't know if they just didn't like age him up and it was happening right now.
Or maybe the use of Sharyuk like gives you anti-aging abilities.
Or maybe he said goodbye because he knew he was going to meet them in the creepy woods.
Yeah. But he said that when he was a kid, where therefore...
Yeah, that might have just been a flashback. I would bet on it being a flashback.
Fear and 6. 2 weeks, that's not very long.
I mean, to be fair, they can all heal, like, relatively quickly, so they don't need to recover or anything.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that. Oh, just got a message.
Top 3? Oh, yeah.
Wait, so then it's not Mira. Mira's not technically a part of that. It would be, like, Jujutsu guy.
Oh, they have to fight. Yeah, because they were both...
Oh, they were both... Yeah, oh, yeah. How did Mira have that wound from the wedding?
She didn't go to the hospital and get it fixed.
They have the nanomites in them.
I think they have to be activated.
They can be active. We've seen them just be remotely activated.
Sure you'll be.
Idiot.
Random guy. I'm gonna be the one. Okay.
Fuck yeah. The key. Sudden rule change 3 on team. Yeah, okay, I was wondering why they suddenly randomly changed that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's because he's like, oh, there's 2 tiger cubs. Well. Oh, it's that guy that we were shown last.
Wait, what? Nox?
Oh, they're talking about the cult. Or
I thought they
whatever.
were the cult, so that's why I'm confused.
I guess
Summoned the 6.
I guess maybe they weren't.
Or maybe Mujin's playing both sides? I wonder what the deal is there. I'm confused now. I thought he was part of the cult.
Oh shit.
Okay, so Nox must be the dude with the white hair from the cult.
Yeah, so I guess this isn't a flashback, maybe. A whole... Okay.
What the fuck is happening?
He just
I wish I could
made
know.
the
I wish I could see what that
biggest
says.
sword of all time. You're just gonna let that...
Okay. Jesus. Alrighty. Holy fuck.
That was a crazy sword. I think that's kind of like the hand thing. Like,
Yeah.
Comes out of the sky.
I was not expecting to see this guy out of the tournament. Wait, is he blind? What the fuck?
How does he know what's going on? That guy's kind of creepy.
俺からも一つ聞きたいんだけど、ラン、この大会の裏にはおかしな力が存在している。それが何なのか知りたい。着陸だ。
Is that what?
He's just telling him.
But yeah, but the way I just noticed the way he said that is not the way it's spelled. Is it like Charkiyiki or some shit? Is he procrastinating? He invents stories like he did with that the old lady at the beginning. He just sprained his ankle for something so stupid. Oh shit. Acupuncture.
この先とてつもない力を持った者たちが登場する。今の君はその全てに力で対抗しよう。強くなりたいのは当然だ。こればかりにこだわればより強い力に当たった時、思いを剣に宿すんだ。思い？時にしなやかに受け流し、打つべき時は迷いなく。あなたはどうして？僕の目がこうなったのは月光剣のせいだからね。
Damn, I wonder what his history is.
ちょっと福ちゃんと先に車に戻ってて。
Was not expecting so much development out of this guy. Oh shit.
Told you that guy looked creepy.
Creepy as fuck.
ノックスの資格か。すでに世界は動き出してる。全国大会でお前たちの前に立つ。およそすべてそういうものだ。荒ぶる神、邪悪なる怪物、天の御使い、世界を変えた英傑、人知を超えたこの世ならざる存在から力を借り、そこに表示されるレベルと数値も我が物として頂点を競う。それが我々のゴッド・オブ・ハイスクールだ。お前たちはどうだ？ゴッド・オブ・ハイスクール。久しぶり。僕の勝ち。
Because he chose paper. Did you see that? Oh, Jesus.
That guy's just like...
Another sword user.
With glasses.
優勝してみせます。私のことは意識せずともよい。自分の力を試す良い機会と思いなさい。はい。ジュノコを支えてやりなさい。かしこまりました。
The loan shark? Tiger Cub. So maybe he isn't the bad guy, even though we've been like teased that he's the fucking evil dude this whole time. Like she just got back at him for when he found her address. Wow, we're finally talking about it? That time we saw a giant Grim Reaper clown and a giant fucking samurai looking dude. Started off with like a good preliminary bash.
So there's 9 teams. That one team looked a little bit sketchy. Did you see that?
No. We gotta look back at those in the...
They were wearing the, like, cloaks.
The fuck? No!
That's so sad.
I don't like this replacement shithead with his circle glasses.
No one does.
So these are all Korean teams. Still haven't you?
It's a national tournament, not
oh,
an
okay,
international.
yeah.
Oh, did you see that?
Dude.
That was the
Yeah, the
clown
guy on
the Reaper clown. It had it on his card.
Dude.
We're gonna have to look at some of that again.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to. So that was a pretty good episode. That was a way. I'm glad. Okay, they clearly stepped. Like I've been saying it like every episode at this point, but I don't really have the fear anymore that it's gonna like take a dive. But it does seem like with the whole Taijin, is that his name? Mori's grandpa. Mm-hmm. They kind of stepped down the animation. It was still like very active and dynamic, but you could tell like it looked so. Maybe I can show a preview of it. If I can find it in the episode. All that crazy stuff was happening. First of all, I love that they have the consistent like chibi look. You know, with all of them, it's always really funny. I feel like it's getting funnier. But
yeah, at first I was a little bit like.
At first it seemed kind of like obligatory. That it seemed like they kind of had to have. They felt like they kind of had to have like a chibi scene like that.
Yeah.
But look at this. So like, yeah, that looks pretty rough. But, like, it was dynamic, and it had movement and everything, and, like, a cool effect and everything. So, like, it's fine. But, like, for a halfway through the season, whatever, you know?
And also, like, they did it for a fight that, like, the guy, like, this part of the thing, the guy's literally just standing there. So, like, to waste half their budget just making him look really good with his cloak blowing in the breeze.
I'd rather they save it.
Would have just been, yeah, exactly.
I'd rather they save it.
I feel like they're picking their battles wisely.
But there was only really one fight this episode, and I don't know, it just seems like, I'm fine with there being no fights. It just seems like, I don't know, it's just strange, I guess, because it's the first episode where there wasn't, like, a real fight. There was, like, the one to start it off, like, but it was just kind of getting it out of the way. It wasn't really, like, an actual challenge. Which, again, I'm kind of sad about because I wanted to see some sort of jujitsu.
Well, maybe someone else will have that.
Maybe someone else. I'm not sure. It's a pretty popular martial art. I want to see some Muay Thai. That'd be cool.
I love this. The random jujitsu guy just like, oh, man, I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna go to nationals.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, buddy.
It's like, yeah,
the plot is against you.
Exactly.
Here.
I kind of appreciate that they kind of were self-aware about that. That, like, they weren't just, like, oh, you know, obviously it's not going to be fucking him. They just announced, oh, it's going to be 3 people. So it looks like the runner-ups are going to have a fight, and it's one of the main characters versus random background character. And then he's just like, all right, I'm gonna make it. And it's like,
yeah, I feel like
literally
that wasn't
100
meant to be taken seriously. Like that.
Yeah,
That's just
for sure.
They're just memeing around with that.
Well, like they have to make they can't just be like, oh well, like if they wanted to go a step further, they could have just been like, I forfeit. I don't even want, or just like, I don't want to go to nationals with these weirdos or something like or some shit like that. If they wanted to take like an extra step.
It's just like Mori on the side being like super weird.
Yeah, but then also Mira. Like, if they did go that direction, then Mira...
She would, like, feel even worse.
Yeah, because she is kind of getting Sakura syndrome of, like, these guys are ahead of me.
But I like that she's aware of it and, like, isn't just like, I'm gonna tag along for the ride. She, like, feels kind of like, I don't like that she feels shitty about it, but it's really nice to see a character that's, like, aware enough that she's, like, aware that she's being taken along.
Yeah.
And she's not just like, wow, it's awesome that we all get to go together. She's just like, I need to do something here and really step up my own game.
Yeah, because right now she's just following them along. Yeah, I am glad that she realized that. Sakura did realize that as well.
Yeah.
But thus far into where we are in the story, because we're not...
She hasn't, like...
She hasn't actually stepped up to the plate.
More, or, like, you know what I mean? Like, Mira is kind of just like, okay, I need to be even better and, like, get up to their level. Sakura,
and the thing is...
for Sakura, she was just like, oh no, they're better than me. And then... But I'm good at Genjutsu one time, so...
Mm-hmm.
With
that's Mira,
like
she
thing.
like got injured herself from training too hard.
Yeah.
You know?
Because she's really trying, which I think is the difference.
And she's not, and was already a badass. Like she is the third strongest person in that fucking soul.
Yeah, actually,
Like,
and the main reason that she lost so easily in the fight that like discounted her from like the final of that was because she had a crazy injury. So like she probably still would have lost against Dewi, but it would have been a better fight than what it had been if she wasn't injured. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, I brought this up earlier. The reason I brought this up is because I was just watching Content. They did like episodes 1 to 4 reviews. Best Guy Ever, Digi, and Digi's brother. They were talking about it, and they mentioned it. They brought it to my attention, and I'm not sure how good of a grip they have on the like the lore of everything, because I think they're just in the same boat as us. But they brought it up, and they were like, they have this nanobot technology that like heals you, and it can be remote activated. We saw Mori get all fucked up in one of the fights, and like his like shoulder was destroyed or neck was broken or something like that, and then the nanomites like healed him, and that's when Dewi was like, oh shit, so that's how the technology works. Maybe that, and then he was thinking of his friend. But then Mira goes up into, and maybe here's the thing, I'll get to what I think might have happened in a second. Mira goes into the fight and gets fucked up by Han with this obvious weakness that she established outside of the competition. What might have happened was that Mujin was setting up Dewi to fight Mori in the finals because he had his like claws in Dewi to like motivate him to like really fuck up Mori. So he deliberately fixed it and put Mira at a disadvantage because he didn't have as much control over her. Maybe that was it. Because we've seen it just heal wounds, you know?
Yeah. I guess that's true, but there's several things with that. She said that afterwards she got told she should have gone to like their hospital there or whatever.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, she said that. She said, "Oh, the doctors or whatever got mad that I didn't go immediately, but I didn't know that they would do anything for outside wounds."
Okay.
And also, I mean, when Mori ate that fruit, that might have been something different, but I mean, his body was obviously in distress there, and like I don't know that it's like it automatically just jumps into action. I think maybe someone has to like program, like start it up or something, maybe. But
the fruit wasn't what fucked him up. Like I think he got fucked. If I remember correctly, he got fucked up in a fight. Maybe Mira messed him up. I think like, she was like tending to him like after the fight, and then Han's sitting there like looking sidelong at him, and then he just like heals up from the nanomites, or like they go like initiating healing process or something like that. Maybe they like hook him up to something. I can't fully remember, but what my point is, they had the technology in the arena to like heal people up ringside.
Yeah, so, but when Mori's neck was getting fixed, he had like a brace on that was like showing what was going on. They probably have
some shit like for that. I'm just saying like they didn't do it to like it has nothing to do with this episode except for the fact that it's like showing. I'm just talking about like how Mira got to this point and where she's at currently. But if her whole thing is like, oh, I'm like a step behind them, but she was like obviously put at a disadvantage for shit that wasn't her fault outside of the fight. Mm-hmm. I mean, it kind of was her fault because she like chose to marry that guy, but it wasn't like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like, she's not as far. I think she's being a little hard on herself, is basically what I'm saying. Because she's not actually that far behind. She was at a disadvantage in the fight where she was like, oh, I'm not even at their level. And maybe if she was fully healed, she still would have got fucked up. In fact, I probably think she would be.
Yeah.
Because she is just making a breakthrough to, like, really getting into her whole thing. Like, her doing what she wants, being herself, allowing the martial art to bring out the best in her. She's just making those strides, so she's really just starting her journey. She's been studying this her whole life, but just now she really like ascended to another level. She was kind of like plateauing before, and she made a big breakthrough, and now she can like go train at a different level. So
I think she got like a real reminder of what her skill set was like actually good, like what she actually needed to do for her technique to
For
be
sure.
of any good.
For sure. Yeah, and it's cool. I fucking love Mira. She's great. She's super cute. She's a badass. And yeah. She's awesome.
Yeah,
and I
she is
can't
really
and I can't
awesome.
I really hope it's not it won't be Sakura syndrome for sure. But because she's like obviously not the main character and she's not the main rival to Mori, it's just makes sense narratively that she won't get as much development further, like way later into the story once we're getting to like the high level, like literal god battles that I'm sure this is going to end up with. I hope that she can stay relevant. Like it's so common in shonen for like if you're not the main character or the rival to the main character, even if you're the rival to the main character, like in Dragon Ball, it was fucking Goku, and then it was Krillin. They were like training partners. They were under the same master. Then they graduated, went to the martial arts tournament, and eventually, over some time, Krillin was replaced with fucking Piccolo. And then in Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo was replaced with Vegeta, and Vegeta stayed since then. But it's like, even no matter what the connection is, in like long-running series like this, and this is way longer in the manhwa, from what I understand, it's super common for them just for like even rivals or anybody other than the main character just be pushed to the wayside. This show seems to be pretty self-aware. However, the manhwa has been like being published for a good while at this point, like maybe 10 years ago, probably less, but like it has hundreds of chapters from what I understand. Maybe I've been misinformed, I'm not entirely sure, but it's a long-running series. And it does seem to be like you know, pretty self-aware and like pretty good about like not fully following every single trope, but still you know, existing within that framework, which is what I really like about the show. I all that to say, I hope that Mira doesn't just fall to the wayside. That's what I'm really saying.
I hope so as well. She brought up her sword again, so I think whether it be this season or maybe in another season, I think they're setting up for it, and I really hope that she's like talking about how her goal is to go and get her sword back. Meanwhile, the literal like evil cult has her sword, and it seems like those are like the sort of like villains of the show. So I feel like since she has her own goal that is not connected to the other two main characters, I do think that she'll like be able to stay relevant.
Can we watch when she said that again?
Yeah.
When do you know that? Can you find when that was about?
Oh boy. Oh,
reviving the moonlights.
Oh yeah, not I thought she said retrieving.
Yeah, no, that's why I was confused, because like I thought that it was a play on words of like, oh, I want to get my sword. I want to obtain my sword or something like that. And I was like, maybe I don't think she's talking about her physical. I think she gave up. I think she literally, it's like Luke Skywalker. It's like, I don't give a fuck about this stupid bit of metal and bullshit.
Yeah, that was completely me just like reading fast and then misreading. Oh, yeah,
also, the dude is like sitting there across the street. But yeah, so it's not about finding just the wooden sword, because she kind of realized
that it's not just about that.
Sword is bullshit. It doesn't matter if it was from her dad. Her dad didn't leave her a sword. Her dad didn't leave her a physical sword. He left her like the sword art. It's not about any physical thing. But Mori just wants to get stronger because he thinks it's cool. I think he just wants to do it for the sake of it because he enjoys it. But he was just they were trying to like pry it out of him, and he doesn't think about shit that deeply. So he's just like, it's cool, haha. And
we talked about that before too. How we're just like, he's just like the kind of character who's just like, I just want to fight and get stronger. And then they're like, why? And it's just like, because I just want to fight and get stronger.
Yeah, you got a problem with that? I don't see, like, what's your fucking problem with that? Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess there's 6... Are there 6 something? Or
6, 8? I feel like I keep needing to go back. They dropped a lot this episode.
Yeah,
I just wish Crunchyroll's player wasn't so shitty. Usually I just close it, but I'm still recording. I guess I could stop the recording. Hugh is dead.
Yeah.
Oh, all his stuff, his name and everything is blurred out. By the way, I was spoiled on this fucking guy. Not even by anybody, but by the promotional material.
Really?
Yeah, they show his whole thing, and I'm just like, oh, well, that kind of spoils it. I won't say it because I feel like it's better not to know, but they literally put it on the poster on Crunchyroll. They show he's like on the poster and you see him.
Okay, I need to be really careful.
Just be really careful. If you get spoiled, you'll be like everyone else, basically. But do not look at that fucking poster. It straight up spoils a bunch of, like, yeah. Yeah, so there's 6 guys, and we saw them. Yeah. So he's one of the 6.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the 6. There's 6 things. 6 tarot cards. Looking shit.
Yeah, we should look at them again. I would like.
Do you want to look at them right now?
Sure. I would just like to see, like, what there are. So it's interesting because some of them are, like, old, and some of them are younger, which is interesting.
Yeah, the fact that he's talking about tiger cubs and he's a tiger cub, maybe he's looking for, maybe there's like a some sort of something that makes you have to pass down your ability to somebody else, and that's what he's looking for. Maybe that's why he's taking an interest. Maybe like that's what the God of High School competition is really about. He straight up said it to Han this episode. He's just like, you know, this isn't about just a tournament, and that's what one of the 6 was talking about. He's just like, I thought this was going to be a competition to let young people explore their limitations or whatever he said, like, you know, live their own lives and experience their own shit. Instead, it's just a game for the old. Okay. Yeah,
the Rebirth and Tiger Cub are like much younger than the other 4.
Yes. And I wonder what the deal with that is. Oh yeah, and then Taijin just set up that photo opportunity, like hired a photographer and a couple like stock photo models to pose as his parents, just in case anybody came over. It's kind of sad, but also kind of funny because he doesn't really care because he got like, it's not like he was completely alone. He had his grandpa. But yeah, so here's another thing that confirms. I mean, we already kind of knew the connections with Goku and that whole thing, and like, well, not Goku specifically, but Sun Wukong. I want to look up like what his story is, because I feel like that's kind of a preliminary piece of knowledge that we should have. It's like not knowing about whatever Frankenstein or some sort of classic literature or like some shit like that. So he doesn't have parents. He's like a child of God, basically, or like some sort of divine child, fell from the heavens, was picked up by Taijin, and now he was like just trained by this old Sharyuk user, seemingly, because he has the potential. And apparently that's what the nanomites and like the whole game system of the tournament is there for. It's to determine, like, that's what the power level thing is. It's their affinity to use Sharyuk or to, you know, have that power, drawing forth the powers of the gods and making them one's own.
Yeah, so apparently it's like gods, like
divine
beasts, like not just like gods, but any kind of like what would be like the word for that?
Celestial.
Yeah, but like or just
otherworldly.
Like, yeah.
And he goes over the mural, which is really interesting, because I was like, I was gonna say during the episode, I was like, show us that mural again, Mujin. What's changed about it? What do you have to say about it? We'll be the only people in the tournament now will be people like that. Savage gods, evil beasts, when he's talking about the tortoise. Messengers from heaven, when he's talking about the fox. Heroes who changed the world. That when it's over, Sun Wukong, aka Mori. And the Buddha in the middle. Your opponents will borrow otherworldly powers from beings that transcend human understanding. And that's kind of what the Buddha is. It's an enlightened person who, like, you know, has achieved a higher level of being through understanding.
Yeah. But it's interesting because when we're looking at that before, the, like, his, like, mural and, like, the actual, like, real life directional gods or whatever weren't they weren't the same thing.
Yeah.
But so this mural is mostly just, it's like
a depiction for like their mission or like,
yeah,
what they're looking
like
for.
what's important to them, I suppose. But because so many people are using it, it's like it can be like anything. It would be like, oh, you can borrow the power of gods or of like old heroes or of ancient beasts or mythical creatures. Like it's kind of more broad than just like,
it's communicating with the divine. It's not just like, oh, there's only 4. It's like there's an innumerable number, like, you know, it's there's a lot more potential. Whereas I think what they're looking for, someone with the key, or the key will be unlocked. I wonder what that means in relation to that. There is the fact that there's 5 technically beings on that mural. That seems to be a focal point. It seems like they're looking for somebody specific, people like Mori specifically, not just people with potential, because they're that whole like board of people for the tournament. They're all the commissioners. They're all you know, they all have Sharyuk. They all have an affinity for it. They're all special in their own way, but they're not like Mori. You know, they're not. They there's a reason why the figures on this mural are so prominent. There's I forget. So that's really interesting. I want to see what happens. Obviously, with all of that, we're getting introduced to a lot of new people. There's like a foil for Mira, it seems like, with this red-haired girl with
this is
sword.
The team that they're up against first.
Yeah.
So
there's like this old guy who's participating in it. He's like the oldest guy in the competition, he said, or he'll like beat them all in age regardless. And then, but like this dude,
they made him so cool.
They did. They made him like. Oh, is that a spoiler? Hang on, I'll whisper it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Damn it. Yeah, it's exactly like that.
I want to spoil. What character. Full Metal Alchemist is all I'll say. There's a character like that in Full Metal Alchemist. You guys will instantly know who I'm talking about. But if you haven't, you should watch Full Metal Alchemist. But yeah, he reminded me exactly of that character. But so he just
that
fucking
makes me
died.
even more
and
sad.
then this shithead did he went and killed somebody else?
Yeah, he's trying to kill all the
commissioners,
higher up people. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was interesting before. Do you think it was set up that we were supposed to think the cult and Mujin were one and the same?
I think that was a setup.
I was fully thinking that they were the same.
I think so.
And that they were trying to like get the whole point of this whole competition was to like get to the top and root out the corruption or the evil at the top. But it turns out maybe Mujin is the good guy in all this.
I think so. Yeah, it's interesting. They like totally did like a reversal on that. Like they made you think, oh, he's so evil. He has like these little devil horns.
Yeah. The first thing we saw is that he was like mute, like we're talking with politicians, and then he just didn't get their good end of the deal, so he crushed them and shit, and like, yeah. But
then it's like it seems like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like him or like any of them really have evil motives. It seems like they're like, we need to find strong people, potentially even to protect ourselves from the crazy cult that seems to have like hundreds of members.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And then the Divine Doctor, his name was, or that was his title. I forget what his actual name was. He was the teacher of Mori's grandfather, right?
Oh, I thought he was the teacher. No, he's the teacher of Mujin.
Oh, okay. I thought he said, oh yeah, his useless pupil. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But he had, I think he had connections with...
Yeah, and he wants to take on Mori as his student.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So yeah, it seems like we were fully led in the wrong direction. It was a total red herring. They just let us create the connection 100%. They let us create the connection between the cult and Mujin just by making Mujin super intimidating and scary.
And they're
looking.
like, oh, the fruit, and then they show like the evil like fruit bowl or
yeah.
the evil like evil looking room with like a bunch of stuff all over it, and they just make it look but then like once you have the new information, you look back and you're like, oh well, I mean that might like all the stuff that it made him look evil was probably not even that evil, and
we were just making connections
because
we saw people who were actually shitty. But then what about okay, so this is interesting. What about Kong? Because he was like really fucked up. So did he come in contact? Maybe what happened with him was he came in contact. That changes the whole thing because he was like super fucked up by his interaction with all these Sharyuk users. He had potential, and he was taken in by the cult, like forced, and then they like threw him aside, and then he was picked up by the God of High School tournament commissioner people, and they tried to like bring out, because it's all they don't necessarily care about being good, it seems like. They like and in terms of individual basis, they'll be shitty to a person if it'll bring out the best in them. Like that's why they were being shitty to Daiwi, or Daiwi, excuse me, or however you say it. But it seems like they'll be shitty to people if they think it's for the greater good. Like they tortured him emotionally and made him feel like absolute garbage and fucked up his whole perception and mood. They didn't actually do anything to him. I mean, did they actually? They could have helped his friend, but they didn't.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's hard, but it's interesting because I don't know. I don't really anymore get the vibe that they're like being evil to because like I don't feel like they're being evil to create like an evil army.
No.
That doesn't seem like the goal here. So it's interesting how they're willing to like really push people, but like not enough that they're like trying to like purposefully like if that was their goal, they would like try and further a divide between, like they wouldn't be like, okay, groups of threes, let's see if you all trust each other and are friends.
I feel like they did that because there's more people with potential.
I know, but like what I'm saying is like they're not like actively discouraging like friendships and connections and trying to make everyone like a lone wolf who has to like scrounge around to survive.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's all I want to say for this episode. Are you ready to move on?
You don't want to talk about...
Unless...
I want to look at those teams again.
Oh, yeah, right. Let's see. Okay. Oh. And then, okay, blue-haired guy's on the next team, and there's a girl with crazy features and nunchucks. Then there's Hoodie Boy and a couple other people. She looks like she's maybe Taekwondo. She's got fucking Taekwondo skills, possibly. Then there's Rich Boy.
The maid is
the Rich Boy and his maid.
She's just on the team.
Mm-hmm.
She's literally Rem.
And then there's like this kid. He looks really cool. I like his whole getup again with like very anime, very Goku-esque hair. He looks like a Beyblade character to me.
What are his hands?
They're all wrapped up. Those are all like gauze. But only like the fingers. Like it's not wrapped up like a boxer. Maybe he is a boxer. Oh, I couldn't. Yeah. The recording all fucked up on the last one. Hang on. Let's see if it works this time. I might need to go back to Crunchyroll. Is this the one? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's got the sword as well, and then there's the brothers. It looks like.
Yeah. See. Not sketchy at all.
They mentioned them in their whole like powwow in the board meeting. What the fuck?
A literal child?
Literal child, and then some, like, a tubby-looking guy, and then this dude who fights with an axe. I thought that was a bow staff. It's a fucking battle axe. Then these fuckers looking weird as hell. I wonder what their deal is. Got some crazy competitors here. Male Mira, it looks like, over here. Girl with a pair of fucking Violet Evergarden-looking ass. Irishman. That guy's clearly a boxer.
Yeah, but I love how the one team is literally just dressed like the cult.
Yeah.
And they don't even... They're literally just like... With like their hoods.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about. They did mention them specifically in that whole conversation. Yeah. So, a lot of interesting looking characters. I'm excited to get to know them. I really want to see the fucking sword fight between that one chick and Mira. I want to see that more than anything in the world. That's going to be the coolest fight if they pull that off. I hope we get to see it this season. I wonder if we're going to get to all of this season.
I mean,
the series is moving fast enough.
They're literally in the, like, they're getting ready for the first fight, like,
next
now.
episode. Yeah. They might get to it and leave us off on a cliffhanger. I would love to see this go on, like, next year. I would love to see this show be continued, depending on how the season ends, but I don't see it ending badly. I see this, like, being something that I would like to see continued over the course of years. Maybe a 2-core season. A good, like, 25-episode season next time so they can, like, iron out the pacing issues. Mm-hmm. Although, like we've talked about, I'm not even sure if the pacing is an issue.
Yeah, they're cutting out stuff, but they're cutting out the right stuff.
It seems like it's moving at a good enough pace where I don't get bored of it ever. And I'm still interested in the characters, and I still feel like I'm getting close to the characters and that everything's moving along smoothly. Mm-hmm. Although it does feel like it's moving a little bit fast. Fights do feel like an obligation at some points, like the one at the start of this. It did feel kind of like an obligation, although it was a special circumstance because...
They kind of had to show it, because if they were just like, oh, and she won, then it's
and obviously she was going to win, so I understand that they kind of put themselves in a bad position there. Or, like, it was just a rough state of affairs. There's no way to, like, hype that fight up like it was going to be a big thing. Like, no, she was obviously going to win.
And Mori just, like, one hit took out that guy, so it was. Yeah,
but so the pacing the pacing is troubling. Like I can see it being a problem, but so far I'm not bored. I'm enjoying everything. I don't feel like I'm missing very much. And I'm enjoying the ride, so maybe the pacing's not an issue, but like if they were to do more episodes for first of all, I just hope this gets picked up, but if they were going to do a next season, I guess I'm not sure if I would rather have a 25 episode season or just another 13 episode season if they're moving at this pace. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't mind. But yeah, what I think is I really like, there's a lot of mystery, but they're like slowly answering our questions while bringing up new ones, but not like, oh, we answered one thing, here's like 25 million more.
I feel like I'm getting closer to the truth, not just like...
closer to the truth, but still like having our expectations flipped around of like, oh, we're finding out more about the cult. Oh shit, the cult is a completely separate thing, and the people who we thought were bad aren't even bad. Like, we're getting flipped around, and we're halfway through the season, so that's probably a really good point to like switch it up like that. But it doesn't seem out of nowhere either. Is the other good thing? It's not like they set it up so that we would think that, but they didn't like overly set it up to the point that it like we just went to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Automatically. It wasn't they were like purposefully like making like leading us down that like so hardcore.
Yeah, they just set things
it's
up
like
and then not even suggestion. They just presented things and let us make the connections, and that was intentional too. It seems like like it was intentional. They were supposed to think that Mujin was the bad guy and that he was a part of this cult, etc., etc. Yeah. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this reaction and review to this episode of God of High School. Hope you subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Hope you leave a like and stick around for our future videos. But with that, we're gonna get out of here. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye bye.